It's been 6 months since our last video.
Damn. We're going to go through what we've been up to.
You know, I'm sure there's going to be a flurry of unsubscribes after this because they're going to be like, you guys are no longer out in nature. This is bullshit. This is not why I'm here. But whatever, this is our life. We're just sharing what's going on. So the last video you guys saw on our channel was our Vancouver Christmas video and our Q&A video, both of which were in our Vancouver Airbnb. Since then, a lot has happened. We drove all the way back across the country. Julia had to get a job. We went to Halifax.
Yeah, we went to Halifax because we actually were like kind of considering moving there.
So we wanted to experiment living in different places.
I really thought we would really like Vancouver and maybe want to stay there just because I guess it's kind of similar to Toronto, but you have the nature and everything.
No.
But the vibe just was not
Vancouver
that
people are
great.
going to hate this. They're going to smash the freaking dislike button on this.
But I've talked to people from
Toronto
Vancouver and they say the same thing. Like the
I've
people in
heard
Vancouver,
similar things,
yeah, they're not as friendly. Vancouver's kind of a dump and Toronto's a dump, but Toronto's our dump.
They are all dumps, but this is the dump that I personally grew up laying on. I'm familiar with the stench here. I just know the specific type of garbage that is here, which is why I'm comfortable with it. You know that saying, wherever you go, there you are. In my mind, I was just going to get away. But if really you're in North America, you go to any big city, you're going to feel the same vibe.
And I think that's what was intriguing about Halifax is we're like, oh, this is going to have like a small town vibe,
Yes.
but still have, you know, a smallish downtown where you're not in like the Boone small town vibe. So we thought it was kind of a good mix, I guess. And we're like, okay, let's just check it out. So what were your initial thoughts of Halifax?
Well, we were wanting to rate it on 3 levels: food, affordability, vibe. Because that is, for us, what we care about. This could be different for anybody. You can decide, you know, what's important for you. For some people, it's like nature. For some people, it is access to services. And we felt that Halifax has a nice mix of a lot of different things that we like, while still maintaining that, like, kind of smaller town charm.
We did hear that Halifax has really good food. One of my main concerns was, but do they have good Asian food, like authentic Asian food? Because there's not a lot of Asian people there. So in terms of Asian food, there's this one place called Studio East Asian Gastropub. And we looked it up and the owners, the chefs, are these 2 white guys. And I straight up judged. Like, how good can this be?
I feel like these whites are out of their lane.
And we got it takeout. It was so good.
It's sensational.
So good.
Yeah.
One of the places we checked out was called Edna. It was quite close to our Airbnb. I'd say Toronto quality, standard brunch, had some pork belly, some steak and eggs. The dinner was quite fancy. It was actually quite expensive. Like, even comparing to Toronto prices, I'd say it was on the expensive end for sure.
That is what I've been hearing other people say about Halifax. It's not as cheap as people think it's going to be. They think they're going to go there like it's a third world country and their $1 is going to get them the world. But it's actually, the good stuff there is expensive because a lot more people are moving there, especially during COVID. In the work from home era, a lot of people ended up going there within Canada. I don't even want to spread this now. I don't even want to share this with people. Don't go to Halifax. It's a dump. Obviously, it has like the staples that people know Halifax for, which is the seafood. Like the waterfront, the lobster places, like everything was phenomenal.
One more shout out we have to do. It's on par for sure with our favorite sushi place in Vancouver, Tom Sushi. This place called Kanpai Izakaya. Amazing. The quality of the fish was just melt in your mouth. It was amazing. We went there twice in 2 weeks.
Within our second visit, the lady already knew us.
Yeah, and she was actually from Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met a couple of people that are like originally from Toronto. The first person we met was the Uber driver from the airport, and he's like, I'm going back to Toronto.
Yeah.
So we met one unhappy customer with Halifax. But what are you going to do?
And he said the pace was too slow.
Good. Don't go there. Don't stop bringing the home prices up in Halifax. Just don't go. Stay here, die here.
But yeah, like I guess overall, I feel like you felt more that you could live there than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the ritual of like going to the local bakery in the morning and grabbing a coffee and, you know, just having like a really slow, easy morning. It was nice, but it did feel obviously like quite empty on some of the night outs. I guess because they have the university there. There was quite a few like young people out.
And I think that's a big part to consider when you move to a city. It's kind of like you can't place your finger on it, like what a vibe is, but it's just kind of what you feel when you walk around the city, interact with staff and people. Everyone was super nice. Like even that one time we were trying to find a scooter and some random guy stopped to be like, do you guys need directions? Do you guys need help?
Oh yeah.
Downtown. Like in Toronto, you they would just punch you.
Yeah.
You would just get assaulted.
Not as diverse, but you still feel very welcomed. Like it's a very friendly vibe. I think people are just happier, honestly. Like when we were there, I think maybe it was post rain, maybe not, but it was like actually a little bit chilly when we were still there, but the air was like really crisp. And you were like, is it just me or is this air fresh as fuck?
Yeah.
And the air is fresh as fuck.
It's
like
the East Coast,
you
the Maritimes.
You feel it.
We didn't even go during the nicest season and it was nice. We went, it was still kind of chilly. But yeah, I realized that the vibe category is like a little
subjective.
Yeah.
The worst is that you might be kind of bored because it's so laid back.
I am a little bit of a slug though. It's a good place if you're already established and you just want a pleasant environment to be in. Where would you rank Halifax in terms of affordability compared to all the other Canadian cities we stayed at?
I don't know, pretty much the same. I think where it's most affordable is living, and we rented an Airbnb. Like when we were looking at prices for subletting a place or even getting a lease for a year, it was much cheaper, I think, than obviously a place in Toronto, right? And you get way more space as well. But your everyday, like day-to-day living costs, I'd say are relatively the same.
So if you're going there purely on price, you know, it may not be worth it. It's more of like the feeling and the aura of the place versus like, oh, I'm here for a steal. In terms of nature, no joke, you can drive out of the center of downtown and within 20 minutes be in a nature place. Yeah. And I thought this was exaggerated because we watched some YouTube videos about this before we went there. And I'm like, oh, we're really out in the middle of nowhere. 20 minutes out. 20 minutes out of downtown Toronto, you would still be in downtown Toronto. So final thoughts on Halifax. If you are in Canada or you're on the East Coast in the US and you want to visit, highly recommended. So back to our trip. If you followed this channel, you might hate this, but it wasn't something that we could do full time. Julia just made an amazing video a bunch of months ago about our SUV platform. It was like a full tour. It's probably the biggest video on our channel at this point.
Okay, not sure if we're even going to be able to get that out later.
And so we unceremoniously had to rip all of that out.
Part of the reason is if you saw the video, it's kind of a hunk of junk and just didn't really work as we had initially planned. But also because we were already, you know, we decided we're going to move back to Toronto, kind of settle in here for a little bit. And we needed the space in the car to move stuff. And we just didn't see it being useful for our life here.
You can still fold down the seats and get like a flat surface on there to still do things.
Yeah, actually, so Roman's brother Dean, when we went camping with him, he has a RAV4 and he just set up his inflatable mattress in there, which then gives you obviously the ability to sit upright, and it's just so much more comfortable.
It wasn't great, obviously ripping out this platform that we like paid to build. If anyone wants it, we have it. So
we'll
make
sell
us
it
an
to you
offer.
for a small
We get a viewer
small
discount.
chunk of change.
If you're the original guy who built it and you want it back, we will also sell it to you at a discount.
Yeah, so money was running out, and I think also we realized that we need a certain level of stability as well.
For like our sanity.
Yeah, like
And for Ezra's mental well-being.
Yeah. So after we decided to come back, then we were on Project Condo Hunt.
Fuck, one hardship to another. Finding a rental in downtown Toronto. Shit got bad out here. People were coming back to the city apprehensively. They're like, "Ooh, is it over? Can we go to bars again downtown?" That is one of the reasons I wanted to come back, is to get a head start on it, because I didn't know how long that would take. Like, it could take months, and we were staying at our friend's place. It took a while. We didn't move everything in right away. We had items scattered all over the greater Toronto area. My parents' place, your parents, Steve, storage in Mississauga.
Yeah.
So it's been a few weeks of like getting everything together, now getting the furniture in. And there's going to be a full condo tour eventually, like once we have everything in. But we do want to do a camping trip in the fall, and it's going to be interesting because it's going to be our first trip without our platform. We did have this fantasy of trying out a camper van at some point, like for a weekend, like just renting it for the weekend, and it's like just tasting that good life. I still think that would be kind of fun.
I think we could even do it for a week. Like we could make an actual trip out of it. But yeah, we'll definitely be back in the West Coast, like various times throughout the year because Roman's brother Dean lives there.
Yeah, we're going in the winter, do
Yeah.
a snowboarding trip. We want to keep making videos. You'll see what we end up making, but we want to keep making stuff, obviously.
Yeah. So for anyone interested in the camping aspect of our channel, we do still want to make some videos talking about some of the top gear that we used, our favorite gear. Those are things that we plan to do while we were on the road, but again, it's just kind of hard to film while you're out there.
And we want to hold on to a lot of that gear. We want to keep it because it is actually nice to have gear. Like we just had a power outage recently and we were like, fuck, we wish we had the Jackery fully charged. So there's stuff coming up. Channel's not dead.
And we're not dead.
We're not.
If you have specific things that you want to see or you want to know, any video ideas or anything like that, let us know.
Yeah, anything you want to see, let us know in the comments. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for the support.